Welcome back to another episode of the GTR podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Payne, and this is my co-host, Alex, right here. Let's go.
What is up? So sorry, a lot of stuff came up. I don't remember the last time we recorded, but it's
The
been
last
some
time we
time
recorded was the
before the
draft
draft.
board.
So it's probably been a week.
It's been a week, the draft board.
A bit more than a week,
Yeah?
which is fine. We were supposed to record the day after the draft, but more stuff came up. So let's just make it a general rule to not plan future pods on the pod so we don't lie.
Yeah, I got you.
Because we got stuff going on.
Yo.
Anyway, we've managed to miss. So when we missed a decent chunk of time just now, it managed to be probably the only eventful time in the off season.
Oh, man.
Can we not just address it? That's just absolutely hilarious.
It is. I pray for days like this, though, because it's free agency, baby. Draft happened. We're going to talk about the draft. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, talk about it.
This is awesome. Hold on, let me see something. Hold the hell on.
What?
Podcast 5. We've been doing this stuff for when do we record the first one? Because this is going down to 5. I'm looking on Spotify.
Okay.
So it says the second one we did together was on July 24th. So we're approaching a year, my dude.
Oh my God, we're approaching a year. Oh, that's fire. That's gonna be fire. That's gonna be after Summer League. Oh
Yeah, no, because one of the first ones was let's overreact to Summer League. Oh my God. Sorry, this is anyway, let me do my housekeeping real quick.
go ahead, my boy.
As I always do. Today is, the very start of July 1st, 2023. Now we're a minute in, god darn it. But yeah. Just as a note, I'm writing a piece grading every single team's draft. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun here. That's all I gotta say. So we're gonna talk about the draft. We're gonna go into some of the headlines to it. We're gonna talk about what our teams did. Because I don't want to spoil too much of my piece and my opinions. But we're gonna talk about some of the headlines. Yeah. Do you want to just get right into it? Happy July. It's the end of Pride Month and I am sad. But it's okay. Yeah.
All right. Oh man.
Just initial reaction to the Pistons draft.
Oh, I knew it. Oh man.
So you know about Asar.
Yes.
And last time we recorded, Woj did pretty much leak the top 5.
But listen. So
you already knew.
People who know, and the people who follow me on Twitter and stuff like that, y'all already know I had a SAR. I had a SAR before. I had a SAR in January, February. I had to get a SAR. I knew he was gonna get a SAR. I just had a feeling. He fits everything he was missing. Athleticism, defense, the playmaking,
shooting.
And the shooting is going to be a real thing. The shooting is going to be a real thing, but I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine with shooting. NBA, he shot 30% from 3, but he was shooting.
But it was the NBA 3.
It's an NBA 3.
It is a legit thing. He did shoot really. I think he shot 68% from the free throw line, which is obviously
he shot 70. He shot 70 from the line. Okay. And then when the playoffs came, you seen the shooting get way better. When the playoffs came for him, the OTE playoffs, and when he was overseas, he even shot decently. But when the playoffs really came down, he shot very well. So
definitely.
Believe it.
And
I believe we should.
sorry, I don't remember which pod I was listening to or what video. It was either a KO4TQ, not K, it was this Kenny for real draft reaction, or it was the Bun and Cardigan pod. It was one of those two where it was a Kenny for real, where he said he was talking to Asar. He was talking to the twins, and they said, like, yeah, I'll be honest, that shift from the high school line to the NBA 3-point line was tough. So I'll trust that like the improvements throughout the season will continue. Obviously, I still don't think they're going to be that good of shooters, either of them. Asar maybe a little bit better.
I think Asar gets to league average.
Yeah, maybe. I
If
think
Asar gets
he'll hit like 34, 35%.
if Asar gets to that, it's over because his athleticism is going to be a top
He's going to be a great
1% athlete
defender.
in the league.
He's a really smart cutter, which is something that like I watched a lot of stuff, and he is a really smart cutter, and just as you said, a great defender. Like his floor is pretty low, but I do feel like he can be
I
at
don't
his.
I don't agree with his floor being pretty low though. I
I
don't.
think his floor is like Hami.
I think his floor is Sean Marion.
Okay. Whoa.
And that's a good floor. That's a good floor.
I know it is.
Like I see his floor as Sean Marion, and don't ask what I see his ceiling being because boy, you will not like that.
His ceiling is technically absolutely ridiculous, but the chances of him hitting that is good as like as high as much as I trust the Pistons development.
It's
I
high.
don't.
Because all you gotta do is bring on a 3-point shot. Because the three things that I'll say about Asar that he needs to work on to be better and hit that ceiling is 3-point shot, of course. His counters with his ball handling, and his finishing around the rim just in general. And you can count two of those. You can count two of those from being. He played in OCE with bad spacing, with terrible spacing.
Oh, definitely.
And the shooting is going to feel like the shooting is going to be the only thing that's really going to really determine how he hits it because the finishing was a problem because one, even though he didn't finish, he made things harder than it was. Two, the spacing was so bad when he went to the paint.
Spacing was bad, and also his shooting. You didn't have to respect his shooting that much, so that made the defender's life way easier. Now we'll see how everything translates. I'm really intrigued. I think he's a good player, and I've warmed up to him a lot. I still would have liked you guys to draft Jarris Walker, but that's that. Let's go on to the Hornets real quick. And obviously, I don't like their selection at all. We went over it on the last pod on how annoying it is to me. Now, I will say one caveat. The only reason why they did draft as early as they did was because LaMelo was injured for so much of last season, so their team was just so much worse.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were a legit like fully tanking team. If that makes any sense.
Tanky team. Right, it makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know how to define it. Like they were like I wouldn't like obviously they weren't actually in the tier of like the San Antonio Spurs or whatever.
Right. The injury made them worse than they actually looked like.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's not obviously it isn't as ludicrous to draft for fit versus best player as it would be if like any other team drafting second, but at the same time, in my opinion, just the gap between Scoot and the rest of the draft, I think there's a big enough gap there that it's still a mistake. Obviously, I do think Miller does have a pretty high floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll be pretty productive.
Okay.
But he'll fit well. For guys to win Rookie of the Year, I haven't put a crazy amount of thought into it, but he's probably third.
I'll say lower than that.
Okay. I mean, we'll get into that when we do our rating, when we do our rookie of the year predictions later on. But
Right.
that's where I have him personally. Just because I think he'll fit right in as he would with any other team. I still think they should have either traded down or taken Scoot because Scoot is such a fantastic prospect, and yeah,
I
you
can't
got
get
opinion?
I can't get mad at you with that because Scoot is a fantastic prospect. I think you trade down and get assets, but it's okay that you took him there because it's a win-win. you take Scoot, you got a future. If you take Scoot, you got a future point guard, like generational type point guard next to LaMelo, who's already good. If you take
Mhm.
Miller, you got a good player who fits what you're asking for. So you can't really lose.
No,
I'm gonna say this. I'm tired of hearing well, they lost the draft because they didn't take Scoot. They really can't lose because if you look at their previous drafts, it's been bad. It's been bad.
it's
So
straight up.
right
So
now, you're doing
that
fine.
is a good point. So
You,
I mean, although I do believe a bit in Mark Williams, um, but as you said, like they've done badly in the last few drafts, just objectively. Um, so it is good that they did take someone who is pretty sure to be a good NBA player.
right. Because recently you haven't been taking it. Like you really haven't been taking that, and it's been showing. So
Scoot is more of a swing, but in my eyes, I think he's still pretty freaking sure. But I can't get too mad anymore.
because I can't get mad at it because I look at what they previously had and drafted. It's like, oh my god, like you really can't lose if you're Charlotte. You can't lose. The only
Yeah,
way you lose is like I pray this doesn't happen, but one of them breaks like well, I'm not even gonna say it, but you really can't lose it for Charlotte because you drafted a player who were good, you drafted a player who was good, and you're still a good team when you come back healthy. And also, the other picks you had was really good. You drafted Nick Smith, so that'll be fun. You drafted Nick Smith and
mhm.
who else did they draft? Brandon Miller, Nick Smith, and
I didn't get to the Hornets yet, so I didn't get to the Hornets yet,
oh man, oh I ain't go. Ooh, do you know
so
more?
I don't know exactly. I should.
I could tell you real quick. But the Hornets
Yeah,
draft wasn't
well,
bad.
I don't
I
want to talk about Charlotte as a whole too much because once again, that is kind of a spoiler.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
Sorry.
But you good. But again, I'm not mad at the draft. I like it. Um, and then another big thing, of course, Victor went number one, and it's just crazy to see. It's crazy to see Victor like now he's an NBA player. Like, he has a home. He has a
Yeah, I'm more than intrigued. Um, that's awesome to see, and it was his night, and they did a great job of like really marketing him, and yeah, it was an awesome. And fun fact, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the pod, Dan. You're very sure I bring it up all the time, but I do have a twin brother. There's a degenerate version of me walking around. I'm
that's
joking.
crazy.
If anything, I'm the degenerate. Let's be real. But just to see to see the twins go back to back was really, really, really cool. Like, I'm sorry, I'm very emotional. I'm like getting teary eyed right now because like, oh, it's one of those things. Like, you only know that connection if you are a twin, and so obviously I know that connection that that we have, and to think of that, like, that's just really cool. So that was awesome to see. The other real headline was Cam Whitmore dropping to pick 20. Give
God,
me your initial thoughts there.
ah, and one more dropping to pick 20. Um, obviously everybody had a mock top five, depending you saw to top 10 and stuff like that. Um,
I don't remember where we mocked him.
we mocked him. We mocked him
on the last pod because
I'm
I
not
don't
wrong.
remember. I think we had him like
top 10.
yeah, I know we
On
had
the
him
lower
top
end of
10.
top 10. Yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly.
I think we had him on the lower end of top 10. But I'm shocked that he fell. I'm not shocked that he fell that far. I'm shocked that he fell to the 20s. That's what I'm shocked.
Yes.
He fell exactly at 20. I really thought the Lakers or the Heat was going to take a swing on him and pick him up. Makes sense on why he dropped, if you ask people. Injury history, and then reports came out that he didn't work out well with other teams, and that's a real thing.
And also didn't interview well.
You said what?
Also, he didn't interview well, apparently.
Exactly. So that's a thing. That's a thing you got to be aware of for your GMs. Injury history. Definitely for an athlete like him, he relies on his athleticism a lot. So you have to key in on certain things with him. So it makes sense. I really wanted the Heat or the Lakers to get him.
Not the Lakers. Dear God, please no.
I wanted the Heat to get him, just so I'm a Heat fan, so that would have just made me hype.
But he just is like, especially noting that he didn't interview well, just goes against the culture.
Yeah, I know. It just goes against the culture.
I've always been, not always, but I historically was like, Heat culture isn't real, man. Let's be real. But like once it hit last year's playoffs, like that Boston series, that Heat Boston series, I was like, I think it's real.
You believe in
And
Heat?
this year especially was like, yeah, no, it's real. We all have to know it's real.
It's a real thing. Like on
It's
Twitter, it was a running joke about Heat culture, and it's a real thing, and I love it because I'm a Heat fan. So it's good.
Jimmy fan, let's be real. But yeah, I see what you mean.
And I'm mad that I can't get mad at him though. Rockets got a good value pick 20. Even if he doesn't pan out, that's a good pick for value. You had two players who were projected top 5, or two top 10 players projected. You got one at 20. You can't get mad at that. You can't you did great. You did your job. I just wanted him to see. I wanted him to go other places like Miami or LA, but that didn't work. I thought he was going to go to the Pelicans at one point, but the Pelicans didn't pick him up. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
which I don't know what's been going on with the Pelicans. They said they were gonna trade Zion and get Scoot. I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. First swear of the video. There we go. Not video, pod. Took about 15 minutes.
It took about 15, but
It took like 18 minutes. That's actually not bad for me.
Actually not bad. It's crazy that you keep it calm. But yeah. Pelicans did get a good pick in Jordan Hawkins, good movement shooter, help space out the floor for Zion. So that'll be a great one.
Definitely, I like Jordan Hawkins for them a lot.
I'm not as high on Jordan Hawkins like other people are, but I can see why. I can kind of see it.
Like he just kind of fits. But I do think they could they? Nah. I don't know. I'll get into it more when I think about it, because I also obviously haven't gotten to New Orleans either. But I think I've gotten to the Heat. So Hornets are literally next for me. But
so Hornets are next week. Okay.
But yeah, they're the next team I gotta write about. But anyway, the last time I'm just gonna talk about Boston's draft, and it did really annoy me.
I need to hear this. Go ahead.
We ended up drafting Jordan Walsh at 39 and got some second round picks out of it. I forgot. We do have to talk about the Tingus Pingus trade.
We already did. We did it last part.
No, we didn't.
No, okay.
No, it was after the draft. What's
okay.
It? Did we?
We can discuss it a little bit, but finish the draft first. Finish talking about that draft. Then.
Yeah. So hold on. I gotta figure this out. Do we have timestamps? But yeah, can you figure that out while I go off on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my lord. Um oh anyway, so the Boston ended up doing that. They I think I did. Um Ended up with Jordan Walsh out of Arkansas. I think he's cool. I think he's a good longer term guy. He's a good defender already, but offensively leaves a lot to be desired so far. Obviously, like he's kind of shot well, but his decision making on like when to shoot is not quite there yet.
Questionable.
One, it, all I can think of is one time. Obviously, like I have watched more of him than this, but all I can think about is the time it was in the tournament. I don't remember which game it was, but he looked to pass a three when it was kicked out to him. Looked to pass a three, but the defender didn't fall for it at all. It was a wide open three. Hesitated, ended up having to take a really contested three, and it, that was just one of the ones where it's like you got to have a little bit more confidence. Obviously, that gets built with ability and experience, but that was just one of those things. Um, Good defender. I, maybe is like a 10th man, but he's not seeing playoff minutes, obviously, not yet. And I think he's cool, but with who we had available either anyway, eh. So shit. Shoot.
Oh, we didn't talk about Porzingis. We didn't.
Okay, cool. Um,
So
and we have an extension to talk about for him later. Um, anyway, then we had so pick 25. Obviously, we ended up trading to Detroit for Marcus Sasser, which, just as a note, I love that pickup. I love Marcus Sasser. He's awesome. I wrote about him in my under the radar prospects. So I didn't mind that we traded that until pick 30 came around and the Clippers took Kobe Brown, who obviously it was pretty clear that Brad Stevens wanted him because we ended up trading pick 31 like immediately after, and it wasn't that good of a haul. I think he would have been the perfect. Not I think he would have been the perfect Grant Williams replacement, man.
you really think so? I don't see a role for him in the league. Like I see him being okay. You grab Kobe Brown because he's a win-out player, but I don't know. I don't think his game translates as good as people think it
No,
does.
I don't know exactly, but he's good at attack. He's better at attacking closeouts than Grant Williams.
He's
Better
not the shoot
passer, better dribbler. Not as good a shooter, but
nowhere near.
he did shoot 45% last year on 3 attempts, but he
From
didn't
behind.
shoot that well. So he wouldn't have done as well in his first year. And I think he's probably an equal defender. And he's a bigger body and long ass arms. So
Bigger body. I give you that. He is the bigger body.
he weighs like he's got like 10, 15 pounds on him, longer arms, and an inch taller.
Yeah. I just
So
don't. I don't see him being a really. I don't know his role. If that makes sense.
I think honestly he's what Grant Williams tried to do this year. That's what the role I see. So tried to like Grant Williams tried to do some of that interior playmaking stuff and attack closeouts and whatnot, which just ended up in him taking step back threes. It was infuriating. Um,
It's
it
disgusting.
was really annoying.
You're right.
Um, but I see him doing a better version of that. Good short roll passer and
Okay.
3-and-D threat. That's what I thought about Grant Williams, and then obviously he did find a role, and he's about to get. I don't want to say a bag, but he's probably going to make like 12 mil over the next. He's probably going to get like. My guess is 3 years for 36 mil, but obviously with how these contracts have been going, we'll talk
We don't
about
know.
it. I don't, I don't know. Um, Anyway,
Okay.
we
I,
weren't able to draft him, so then we dropped down a bit. Ended up trading. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Who was drafted at 34? Oh my lord. Oh my
there's a
lord.
34. Ooh, I gotta put up the draft board. 34. Don't know off the top of my head. Drafted at 34.
I should know this.
Drafted at 34. I could not tell you.
Colby Jones. I
Okay.
think he's cool. I think he's cool. I'm not like a massive fan of him, but I thought he was cool. Kind of,
Okay.
and we need. I still think we need guard depth, so I didn't mind that. Jordan Walsh is also a guard, but I think Colby Jones would have been more useful in his first season for a win now guy. Didn't take him. I'm not completely dejected. Obviously, City Sissoko and what's his name? Other wing, G League Ignite. Leonard
Leonard
Miller.
Miller. Leonard Miller.
Yeah. Leonard Miller.
I
Both of them were still on the board. I'm not too mad we didn't take them because they're more project type guys. But I really
Leonard Miller
think
would have helped you out
was
win
an
now.
awesome
Leonard
prospect.
Miller would have helped y'all win now. I'll say that right now. Leonard Miller would have helped y'all win now. His defense is a real thing. His shooting is not there.
His frame is a real thing. I don't think his defense is there yet.
Sorry, I'm going to say his defense. I didn't mean to say his shooting. I did not mean to say his shooting. But his defense is a real thing. The shooting can come along.
Did you not hear what I just said?
What?
I said I don't think his defense is a real thing quite yet. His frame is a real thing. His defense not as much yet. Not yet. He looks lost at times. There are times he looks lost, I'll be honest. But I still think he's an awesome player. And his ceiling is really high. I was really surprised to see him drop to the second round. To be honest, he was City Sissoko.
I was too. Minnesota got a steal for getting Leonard Miller.
That was awesome. And they need more wings. So
Leonard Miller, and I really think the defense is already there. It's just hear me out. The defense is already there. It's just making sure he's engaged all the time.
Yeah, and it's that off-ball defense that really he struggles with. But I think he's able to work on that. He's really young. He'll be awesome, I'm sure. Okay. And real quick on the Mavs draft, I'm just going to say as a quick note, I think they absolutely nailed this draft.
They had the best draft. If we're not including the Rockets and the Spurs, they had the best draft.
Yeah, and those two, I want to put an asterisk behind it because it's not like they did any extra work for it. They kind of got lucky there.
Right.
No, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but they got lucky. The Mavs went and made a move, a couple of them actually, and absolutely nailed this draft.
They did. They definitely did.
Anyway,
can I talk about the draft real quick and why I like it? The reason why I like the Mavs draft so much is because one, they got off of the Bertans contract just to move down 2 spots.
Exactly.
To take who they wanted, to already take who they wanted, and Derek Lively. And they just moved down 2 spots and got off they freed up
off an absolutely massive contract.
And they freed up a max slot. So if you're Dallas,
which they used to re-sign what's his name?
Kyrie. So now you basically gave up burp times for Kyrie. I think anybody does that. Nobody does it. Like everybody does that. So you really just saved a lot. You saved a lot, but you didn't do a lot, but you did a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I like they draft. I just had to say that. Like being able to move down those spots and still be able to pick up who you want.
Oh yeah. Also, they traded. Yeah, I'm thinking of the right guy. They also traded for what was the haul for pick 24? I don't remember.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't remember exactly. Was it Tim Hardaway?
Tim Hardaway hasn't moved.
No, he hasn't. I'm trying to remember what that haul was, but they were also able to get Olivier Maxence Prosper, who I think is awesome, especially for them. So
Another defending guy, and they really showed. They already got the offense, so they just said, "Okay, we're just going to load up on defense." And
and that's I love. Like I said, I absolutely love their draft. I've said too much. There's a spoiler for for freaking 3% of my piece. Still go read it. It'll be out by, we'll say by the end of the weekend. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway,
all right, let's talk about
let's
the
get on to free agency. Let's get some
yes.
big names out of the way first. Actually, let me just say real quick, 2 years, 30 mil extension for Kristaps Porzingis, especially with some of the new, not trades, especially with some of the new extensions. I like that. That's good
Okay.
value.
Okay. Um, okay. So you added that in. That's good value. And a tradable asset if you want to trade him down the line. So
Yeah,
you,
we're not boxing a corner, as you said.
um, it's good not to set yourself up to like be stuck with contracts. So
Mhm.
that's good. That's a good price for what you're getting. So I can't get mad at that.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say
Mhm.
is y'all need a guard. Y'all need a guard.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I think Brogdon gets traded.
who
What are the odds? Give me like a plus or minus Brogdon gets traded before the season starts.
minus? He'll still be a backup. He'll be a backup.
No, like plus or minus what? So I'm saying
Oh, explain. Go ahead.
plus 130 he gets.
Oh, trade it? Trade it
Like
before
I
the
think
season
now we'll
starts?
see. I'll go percentage because that doesn't make sense. I'll say like 40% chance, 50% chance he gets traded by the end of the off season.
I'll give him like a 30%.
Okay.
Um, I still see him as a valuable point guard. He just won 6 games for y'all, and he was just coming off an injury in the playoffs. I think y'all don't. I think y'all understand that, and y'all don't move him. But
Oh,
y'all,
definitely.
I'm not mad that Derek White is your starting point guard, but I don't want that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want it either. I love Derek White, but
Derek White saved you one of y'all playoff games, so I'm not mad at it. It's just it's weird.
yeah,
Um,
we don't have a starting point guard anymore, and we need to fill that void.
or
Um,
or hear me out. Y'all just trust Tatum's playmaking as an advance so much that you don't need a point
we
guard.
just did that the past 2 years. Look how that turned out.
But he did he okay. The slack of Tatum playmaking gets criticized way too much because
Definitely, but I still don't think it's good enough to. He just said to. He had the most turnovers in the playoffs for the past 2 years.
he was the only person on that team can break a zone and know how to
I
read it.
yes, but he also kind of went invisible for a lot of the Heat games. Obviously, part of it was because of the zone, but it is like there's still part of that. Anyway,
Wait. Before we move on, because you say he went invisible. Of course, he's going to go invisible when they're throwing two at Tatum.
yeah,
And
no, that is true. A lot of that was part of the zone, but then there's also times where he kind of just would fade out of games. I'm like, okay, but I don't know. Porzingis on the short roll will be really cool, and I think that'll help some of that.
mm-hmm.
And I just want us to see more like what it's just the off-ball movement stuff because we don't have a true point guard. We need to have more off-ball movement. Had some of it, but not enough of it. Also, like I said, I might have said this on the last pod, but I do like that Porzingis adds an interior threat because we did not have that, and that's why we were so reliant on threes. Anyway, We get done there, or you got one more
Yeah,
thought?
we're
Real
done.
quick?
We're done there. We're done there.
All
We
right.
just
First thing of the free agency, Draymond Green, 4-year,
actually that wasn't the
$100
first thing.
million extension.
Actually, that wasn't the first thing in free agency.
Oh, shut up. What was it?
The first thing, and the only reason I'm saying that because it involves my team, the Nets trade Joe Harris and 2 second rounders.
Oh, but that's a free agency. But let's talk about that. We got two trades to talk about. We got Joe Harris and a second round pick straight up to
Detroit.
to Detroit. Talk about the Pistons. Talk about the
man.
Pistons' point of view.
So the Pistons' point of view. Shout out, hey yo, Troy Weaver, you're cooking, man. You're cooking today. You cooked today. Let's start off with what Joe Harris brings. Joe Harris brings elite 3-point shooting, so floor space, the shooters that we don't have. So what I mean by shooters that we don't have, Ivy, we don't know where he's going to be. I still believe him as a shooter, of course. We don't know Ivy is going to be a knockdown shooter or anything like that. So he brings floor spacing for our guards and Asar and Durham. I feel like he will be that guy who he's going to play like the Alec Burks role this year, depending on
definitely. If Burks goes, we'll see.
Right. Go ahead.
I think either him, Killian, or both are gone.
I can see something like that happening. But another reason why I like the Joe Harris signing is, one, he brings what we needed the most, is the shooting, like actually floor spacing, and some movement shooting, too.
Yeah.
He's an expiring deal, which is always a good thing to have. Expiring deal is always a good thing to have. And he's a vet who can still play. He's a vet who still can play, and he can get quality minutes in important roles. Because the vets that we had, besides Bojan and Alec Burks, it was Corey Joseph and Rodney McGruder, who's not vets you want to play. You want them to just be there to teach.
They're going to keep Rodney around, but
right. But that's another reason why I like that move for us. Also, we get two first round picks, 2 second round picks.
Yeah,
we get 2 second round picks, so you can't get mad at it.
I'm
Troy's doing. I'm liking what Troy's doing this offseason.
Definitely. Another.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I feel like we're talking too much about a freaking Joe Harris trade.
What? It was a really good trade. No way.
It was a good trade, but it's Joe Harris.
It's my team, so I'm gonna talk about it. But
I feel
just to wrap up.
We did spend a solid 3 to 5 minutes talking about Kobe Brown.
Right.
Also, because it's my college team, so.
See, but yeah, he's a good signing, and I'm liking what Troy's doing. He's finding real role players that can help and that can actually play. So, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A couple other things. Chris Duarte got traded to the Kings. Solid pickup. The idea, it was like a couple seconds or something, right before free agency.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good pickup for the Kings. Another wing who can shoot. Cool. One thing also, Harrison Barnes, 3-year, $54 million extension. That's a lot of money that I'm not comfortable with if I'm the Kings, but clearly they were.
I don't like the contract, but I understand it because it's not a lot of good wings available this
Definitely.
So you pay that money to get him back.
My only thought is that I would rather just go after OG Anunoby. Obviously, Masai Ujiri is wanting something ridiculous for him, but I'd still rather go after someone else.
Okay. How do you feel if it was a team option at the end of that contract? So last year was a team. Would that make you feel better about the signing? Or you still say no?
Yeah, but still, that's a lot of money. Obviously, it makes me feel better, but it's not like anything crazy.
Okay. I think it's a fair deal.
because you 50-50. I think Sabonis has 1 year left on his deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I say this. I don't like the deal, but I feel like you have to do it because and
Mhm.
at the end of his deal, he's going to be 33. His defense has been on the decline because the athleticism been on the decline. One thing you can say is the 3-point shooting is real and the floor spacing does help.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. But
and he's a so
yeah, the only thing in my head was like, I had it in my head. I'm like, okay, like my number one thing on the to-do list for the Kings was upgrade the three, upgraded the three, and they didn't. Which is they were the 3 seed, and I still do think a good 3 seed. They just were against probably the worst possible team they could have been against stylistically, other than probably Denver.
right.
So
I think they didn't sign a big small forward just because I think they trust in Keegan Murray to play that wing
definitely,
and just get Harrison Barnes back for a vet and a 3-point shooting. So
yeah,
I'm not mad at it. I'm if it was a feeling that I had, it was neutral.
yeah.
The next
One
signing,
more,
yeah,
yeah. Are we good to move on? Or
yeah,
okay, sorry, I feel like I keep cutting you off because we just have a lot to go through. It's already been like 40 minutes. That's all. But one last trade for the. This was during free agency, but it's a trade. Um, we had should I make both favor? We had Monte Morris for 2 second-round picks go to Detroit.
simple. We use depending on what second we use is good. Even if it really doesn't depend what second it is because Monte Morris is a good backup point guard.
Mm-hmm.
You can see minutes from Killian Hayes get taken away,
Yeah.
but besides that,
It definitely means Killian's gone.
yeah. But besides that, it's pretty cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
And depending on how much Killian's going for, I actually probably wouldn't mind him a crazy amount in Boston, but I don't know. Just because he's a decent defender and he can play make, but I don't know. I think a team.
Like San Antonio will love him.
Thank you. They did re-sign Trey Jones, 2 years, 20 mil.
Yeah. Um,
Any
but
reaction to that?
not really. No.
Okay, so let's.
I do want to do it. Draymond, 4 years, 100 M's.
Yeah,
We knew that. We knew this signing was going to happen when they moved off of Jordan Poole. We knew that was.
definitely.
Um, their championship window is not closed. They got their player back. They got the
Yeah.
player to keep it back.
Did we talk about the Chris Paul trade to Golden State?
No.
I don't think we did.
Mm.
Can we just talk about how that is just straight? That is objectively hilarious.
Yes. It's funny because the rivalry between CP and
You don't have to explain it too much. Don't worry.
yeah.
It is. I saw that trade and I died. I was rolling. I was literally rolling on the floor laughing. And the fact that I know it was a heavily protected first, but not Golden State. Yeah, but Golden State was also the team to send out a first, top 20 protected, of course, but they still had to send out a 2030 first.
And still had to move Jordan Poole off of that too. Like
Yeah,
Poole had to go too.
that just shows, I think, how low people were on Jordan Poole, and also like they wanted to.
They wanted to sign that guy Draymond back.
Yeah, which good for them and good for Draymond get that bag. I think at the back end of that deal, it is going to be a bad contract, but right now it's not. I don't think it's that bad.
Right now, I feel like right now is a good contract because you're still trying to win, and Draymond is winning.
But in the last two, I think in the last, I think in the last 2 years, he's going to regress enough. Clay probably will.
I don't know.
Those won't be great contracts. Obviously, you never know. it's never great to like bet on when a guy will or won't regress, but we all know LeBron's 30. Thank God this fucker won't go on for much longer is one of the single greatest tweets ever.
Man,
So you never know.
you never know.
Anyway, also, did you see that clip of Draymond Green? He was drafting a guy from every team, the starting five. I think it was for like Bleacher Report or something. He's on
Hmm.
their Instagram. It was just like Washington Wizards. He got Washington Wizards. He's like, damn, I can't remember. I don't even know who's on their team anymore. They're all gone.
Oh man,
That
no,
was insane.
no, I didn't see that clip. That's crazy.
Oh, that was insane.
That's actually crazy as shit.
That's just,
Oh man, I'll be mad. I'll be mad if I. Yeah, never mind. But yeah,
oh, we forgot to talk about too. Like we said, there's so much we missed. Um, James Harden is gone. He's getting traded
that's
to
what I
either
was.
the Knicks or Clippers. Give me
I,
your reaction to either of those teams real quick, because I have something to say.
if he goes to the Clippers, GG's for the rest of the league. If he goes to the Clippers, because they're not moving Paul George, they're not moving Kawhi. Now I'm thinking, oh man, a core of
I don't know how they stack it up though.
figure it out. Figure it
You'll
out.
figure it out, but that depth is that's gonna put Phoenix's depth to shame. That's my thought. So I actually I'm like, did we not already learn our lesson on why you need depth?
No, we didn't because when they were playing, we saw Kawhi be able to challenge a team that we thought was that team.
Yeah,
So no, we didn't learn our lesson. And I still believe in Paul George and I still believe in Kawhi Leonard. So give him a point
yeah,
guard.
I believe in them, but I don't believe in their health. So, and I don't like the chances of it just being Harden and a bunch of bums. Sorry, not bums. That's disrespectful. But a bunch of guys on minimum contracts. I don't like the idea of that at all. So
You really said a bunch of man. I can't believe you said that.
that's disrespectful. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of Harden and bunch of guys on minimum deals.
yeah, I can see it. But on the other end, man, that's a three-headed monster that nobody wants to deal with.
Yeah, obviously. Also, he could have gone to the Knicks. Sorry, he can go to the Knicks. They're in talks.
Now you talking about a team I don't want him to go to.
I,
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate the Knicks if the Knicks did that at all. Actually, I think it'd be really good for them because they run such an ISO heavy offense. But
I
it
want him
doesn't
on.
move the needle for me.
I'll
James
take him on
Harden
any other
in
team
this
besides the
great
Knicks.
time. Sorry.
I ain't gonna lie,
Mhm.
I don't want him on the Knicks either. Um, I I just want him on the Clippers. At this point, I want him on the Clippers
Because
because I'm a Kawhi fan. I'm a Kawhi stan, and I want to see Kawhi. I want to see Kawhi in the finals again.
yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd
Personal
love to see
reasons.
them one more time. But I don't think they need. Oh my God, Grady Dick got on to officially Friday or almost Friday.
What?
You know the almost Friday Instagram page.
No. Oh man.
Grady Dick got on it. That's awesome.
Oh man. But that happened. Let's go through this real quick. Let's go through these real quick because we don't want to keep the pod super
Yeah.
long. Um,
Trey Lyles, 2 year 16. Cool. Good backup. Big. I liked his impact in the playoffs. I think that's good enough value. Karis LeVert to the Cavs.
I
I think
didn't.
he gets traded.
I think he gets traded, and I did not want him there. But I can understand because I guess they trust who do you want starting, Isaac or Corey or Karis LeVert? That's where they're at right now. So
Package them.
I give them for
The answer
what
is
else can you
none.
do better? I don't know what else you can do better with that. Then we go to
Oh,
Kyle Kuzma.
here's a
for the
big
Wizards.
one. Yeah, Kyle Kuzma.
You said this is an overpay. I need you to explain this actually.
I just don't think he's that good. 20s. I mean, I guess considering what other guys are making, it's actually not that bad. I would have leaned more toward like 4 years 90, which isn't that much less, but it's enough. Because he's a good scorer, good rebounder, can kind of play make, but eh. I just don't. I mean, he's with the Wizards too, so they can definitely afford it. But I think if it's pretty much any other team paying him that, I'm looking at it much worse.
I surprisingly, I love it actually. It's
I think
because
it's cool for him, cool for the Wizards. Just quick disclaimer, by the way, for anything we might say. We do not fault the players for signing the deals. Get your money. We would all do, at least I would hope we would all do the exact same thing. So like if a guy is like, imagine you're offered a wage that in your head is like way more than you think you deserve, you're still taking it.
right, you're still taking it. So I don't blame the guys. Um, I think actually that trade it's fair on both sides. No, not trade. That contract is fair on both sides. You get what he gets a little bit less than he was asking for because he was asking for 30 million. No team was paying 30 million for him. He gets to be in a rebuilding situation, but he'll be able to. It'll be a fun rebuild and he'll enjoy it. Him, Jordan
Definitely.
Poole, Jordan Poole, and Tyus Jones will be great and fun to watch. So Washington still gets a product to put on the floor. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it from both sides. Um, then we move on to Torian Prince to LA. That's cool. Better bench than they had. A way better bench than they had. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a better bench than what they had. You had DeAndre Jordan 1 year to the 1 year deal, if I'm not wrong, to the Nuggets. So he goes back to where he was previously at. Cadus Bays Diop, 2 years, 5 mils for the Suns. The Suns just get their depth a lot better. We thought
Yeah.
we thought they
I
were
still think it's funny that he's gonna be like their sixth man.
they got Josh Okogie, they got
They did,
Drew Eubanks. Like
yeah.
they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing.
It's not.
It's a
They're
better
doing
bench than
well
what they started.
with the minimal cap space they have. They're not doing bad.
Listen, right? You can't fault it. Then we get Bruce Brown to the Pacers, 2 years, 45. That playoff made him get a bag.
Yeah. Not only that, so it did take a while for this to come out, but that second year is a team option,
Oh, is
which
it
makes
team
me
option?
feel way better about that for the Pacers.
Yeah, I feel better about that. So, but 22 mil a year, he's worth it. He's going to be a good
Yeah,
shooter.
he's awesome. I don't think he's quite worth that, but
What would you
I
give him?
like the per year, the contract I don't think is bad at all. They had a lot of cap space to work with. So have your fun. Absolutely. Um the next deal we got the team. Oh no, we do not.
Jeremy
So
Grant.
Damian Lee to the Suns again. Jeremy Grant, 5 years, 160.
If you're Portland, blow it up, dog.
Literally.
You already got
Just blow
Scoot,
it up,
you got Simons, you got blow it up, bro.
please.
You doing all this to
Please.
make Dame happy, and you still didn't pick up nobody to
Did we not see this exact same team last year? Plus Scoot Henderson, of course, who's awesome, but That's
He's
just
not
all the
going
more
to
reason to trade Dame.
right. He's not going to
Please,
make you a playoff team. Scoot,
sorry, go ahead.
Scoot is not going to make you that finals contender that you want to
No,
be. Trade Danny.
as
Just
good
trade
as
Danny.
we think Scoot is, nah,
Just trade Danny.
he's blown up.
You missed out on Draymond, and Dame said, I want Draymond. You missed out on Draymond. You just resigned him to the. You resigned Jeremy Grant 5 years, 160. Just blew it up.
Please, that's $32 million a year, just for those of you wondering, on average, of course. I love Jeremy Grant. I think he's awesome. Overpay, of course. I think we all think that, right?
Yep. Super overpaid.
But man, like he's awesome. That's a lot. Please
Hopefully
trade
that
him.
keeps Damian Lillard not running from the grind. And then we already talked about Porzingis extension. Reggie Jackson is re-up with the Nuggets, 2 years, $10 million. That's cool.
I think that's good value.
That's good value. Nikhil Alexander-Walker agrees to a 2-year deal to the Wolves. I like that deal.
How much?
The price? Don't know the price off the top of my head, and I'm not seeing it.
I'm assuming it's like a small deal, like 2 years 7 or 2 years 6.
Right.
Could be up to 2 years 10. I think that's all fine.
Javon Carter, I love this deal.
To the Bulls. Remind me how much?
3 years, $20 million.
Awesome value. Good guy to keep with the Pacers. Good guy to keep with. Good guy for the Bulls to sign.
I want to say this about this deal. This deal just reminds me of they don't believe in Lonzo's health at all.
Well, didn't reports came out on draft night that it's very unlikely he plays next season, and man, that's heartbreaking.
It is.
Rest up to Lonzo Ball. That sucks, man.
But now you're solidifying Alex Caruso as your point guard, and if you, I like Alex Caruso as your point guard, and now you got Javon Carter to back him up. I like that. I love it.
Yeah.
I can say the next one. Next one is George Niang to Cleveland, 3 years, 26. How do you feel about that? Overpay. I was saying the same thing, but I can't understand that. Never mind. Because now you can't. I don't want him being my starting wing. I don't know where he fits because he's just another Lamar Stevens. The person who play,
they're not at all the same, my dude. But
you don't think Lamar Stevens don't play the same role?
Well, yes, they sit in the corner and shoot threes and don't play defense, but they're very different. At least I trust Lamar Stevens to play defense more than George Niang.
Is it? Oh man, they're the same player. Well, let me say this: they're going to be having the same role. So I don't.
They got the same role, but I'm just like, why would they do that? Sign a wing for the love of God, please.
You ain't gonna like this, but I would have loved them signing Dylan Brooks. I would have loved.
It doesn't help, but it does.
It helps so much because they got a defender. They have a defender. Oh man. So you can hide Darius Garland.
But the problem is that's 3 guys who you will let take every single 3 every day of the week.
There's 3 guys I know the defense will be elite, and I don't have to worry about one of my defenders not being the help side.
Did we not just say that last year? Obviously, their defense would be significantly improved, but their 3-point shooting, they literally hedged the guards to death. That's what New York did because no one else could shoot. I see that just getting even worse.
Who do you think is better, Isaac Carr or Dylan Brooks?
Dylan Brooks, obviously, but for the money they'd have to pay?
He hasn't been signed yet. I don't think he'll pay a lot. Would you want to take your little Bush for 12 mil?
See who else is there. I'd rather get a shooter at that point.
Grant
Then-
Williams?
He's not a 3. Don't ever let him play the 3 ever. Oh my God.
I know he's not a 3, but you can be creative with it. You can be super creative. You can be creative as hell. Evan Mobley at center, Grant Williams at power forward. I like that.
But didn't they just sign George Niang, who just does everything Grant Williams does, but worse?
But Grant Williams is a better defender.
Who does everything Grant Williams does, but worse?
Right. But again, I don't know why they did it. I would just like them to see him go after Dylan Brooks and Grant Williams.
Dylan Brooks would be fine. The guy who I really would have wanted them to do, but they don't have cap space to do it, is what's his name? Cam Johnson. And he's about to get a bag.
He already got
paid. He did?
Yeah. He got paid
How
less
much?
than Kuzma.
How much?
He got paid, let me tell you off the top. He got 4 years, 108. So he got paid around Kuzma.
Same deal as Kuzma. Good for him. I don't think he's worth that. Dear Lord.
I see why they didn't get him more because
I remember. No, I remember tweeting about that too. Sorry, there's just been everything's happened today. So
you good. Cam Johnson deserved that deal. Let's talk about Cam real quick. By the way, for any team that was trying to get Cam, it was not going to happen. Brooklyn was going to match any deal that was thrown for Cam. And they didn't have to go crazy for it. Detroit kind of helped them out by giving away Joe Harris. So they say
exactly. Detroit 100% helped out.
So I'm mad they didn't get him, but I understand that they would have just said, "All right, you're offering him 30 mil. Okay, we'll just match it. We don't care." They would have just done that. So nobody was going to get Cam Johnson. I started seeing more of a possibility that nobody was going to get him the later we came closer to free agency. So I'm not mad at it. Good value for Cam. You got him part of the KD package. You go from there. Not bad at all. A big one that we can talk about is Kyrie getting signed 3 years, 126 to the Mavs.
Yeah, just wondering. Didn't we all expect this?
I didn't actually. I actually didn't. I didn't. I was kind of shocked.
I know Kyrie is super unpredictable, but this was just one that I'm like, yeah. Because Lakers can't create if they wanted to create the cap room, they'd do what the Knicks did last year and trade their picks because they don't want to take on the salary.
Right. Thinking about it now, it makes sense, but when I was in the moment, it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. They also, yeah, that's fair. Dallas is way better than they were last year.
100%.
Already. They've got a way better defense. And even with just Derek, two rookies are about to make their defense so much better. But that speaks more to Dallas, what Dallas was doing than anything else, I think.
How bad their defense was before.
Mm-hmm.
Another pickup, another resign was Chris Middleton back to the Bucks, 3 years, 102.
4 years, 110. I think that's
3 years, 102.
3 years, 102. Okay, less than Kuz. No, more than Kuz. I was about to say, I'm like, what? 3 years, 102. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't like it, but I understand why you did it.
Exactly.
You had to pay him because he's part of your championship.
And for free, there's not many better guys in free agency. Let's be real. So let's be real. This free agency class
it's dry. The free agency.
I was listening to the Athletic NBA show yesterday. They were talking about all right, top 4 to 5 guys for each position, rank them. I'm like, Jesus. Paul Reed was in the top 5 for centers. Paul Reed's awesome, but come on.
Top 5 for centers. That's actually disgusting. I'm gonna do some quick hits to you real quick about the. You tell me how you feel about it. Quick hits, real quick.
Yeah,
Jakob Poeltl to the Raptors for 4 years, 80 mil.
great value.
Great value for what he brings. I agree.
That happened yet?
Yeah, it happened already. It happened already.
Okay, so I missed. So I was working, so I missed a lot.
Oh, you good? I can tell you. That's why we're doing some quick hits real quick.
Hell yeah.
I like
How
it.
about you? How about you though? How about you though?
You said what?
For Jakob Poeltl.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Defensive center gives them an identity. They don't have to run Pascal at the 5 move.
Yeah. As much as I love Pascal,
He's not a 5.
not a 5.
Trey Jones, Spurs, 2 years, 20 mil.
Just did that.
Yep.
Any other team but this? If any other team does it, I'm questioning it. But I'm
Gabe Vincent to the Lakers.
You good?
3 years, 33 mil.
Yeah. It's fine.
They are making. I can say about the Lakers, they're making the depth way better.
Yeah. They figured out they couldn't sign Kyrie and did what they should have done all along. And good for them.
Shake Milton to the Timberwolves.
Hold on. Before you do that, what's your opinion? Because you like Gabe Vincent, right?
I like Gabe Vincent.
What do you
anything
think?
over that was an overpay. I'm cool with it.
Definitely. They were on the line of overpay, definitely.
Yeah, he basically got a mid-level exception, so I like it. Shake Milton to the Wolves, 2 year, 10 mil. I understand. It's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. Another shot creator. Doesn't hurt. 2 years, 10. I feel like he could have gone I think he could have gotten the same deal that Gabe Vincent got.
I ain't gonna say that because he's not the playmaker that.
No, but I think he's a better scorer. So I don't know. I think he could have, but it's not obviously it's $10 million, and especially to a regular human being, that's a bunch of money. But in the grand scheme of things for basketball, it's not like the biggest thing. So that's perfect. That's amazing value for the Timberwolves.
Yeah. O'Shea Brissett to your Celtics. The contract didn't get released yet.
Yeah, it's probably my guess is 2 years, 5, 2 years, 7.
Right. One thing I was shocked, the Magic signed Joe Ingles, 2 years, 22.
2 years, 20. I saw that.
I understand because they need veteran presence.
That's exactly.
So I understand. He's going to give good 3-point shooting. That's besides that. That's it, really. His defense.
You know what? It's a vet presence. It's a vet presence. They have cap room. Why not?
You got to spend your money somewhere.
Yeah. O'Shea Brissett. Let me just say that means Grant Williams is gone definitely.
Yeah.
I've always thought he was kind of a cool player to have. Yeah.
This one's going to affect me more. Josh Richardson to the Heat, 2 years, 6 mil. I like it.
2 years, 6.
Yeah, I like it. Good value. He comes back home to where he got drafted from. He replaces Gabe Vincent's shooting guard, combo guard type thing. Or technically he replaces Victor Oladipo because we just traded him. But
yeah, Victor. Oof. So let me just say real quick with Josh Richardson, he's not the playmaker that Vincent ever has been or Oladipo, but I just think that's fantastic value.
I love it. Gives us better, good 3-point shooting, not better, but good 3-point
I thought he could have gone at least 2 years, 10.
Yeah. Good two-way player. 3-and-D.
Yeah, literally just 3-and-D. Oladipo.
Why he got that small of a contract, though? Real quick. I can tell you why he got that small of a contract real quick. He talked to Eric Spoelstra to talk about the contract, and Eric Spoelstra convinced him to stay to take that contract. He convinced him to take that contract.
Awesome.
So it's a player option at the end of it too. So
Yeah. Who was? I just saw Oladipo got traded to the Thunder for I know
for
it was draft
just
comp.
expiring, just an expiring deal.
Yeah,
Just
for what? What was he traded for?
the trade was for. It hasn't been. It hasn't been like shown. It hasn't been shown. It's just Victor Oladipo. I think it was for cap relief.
That little? Bro, we'll take him in Boston. Wait, he's injured. Oh my! I forgot he blew up his knee.
Yep. The next one, the Pelicans re-signed Herb Jones to 4 years, 54.
Herb Jones needs to sign a new agent. Herb Jones needs a new agent. I am sorry. I thought he was worth way more than that. I thought he'd be able to get like 3 years, 50 at least.
4 years, 50. I'm actually liking.
3 years, 50.
Yeah, I know, but it's 4 years, 50.
Oh, I thought it was 3 years, 41.
No, it's 4 years, 54.
454? Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was. Oh my god. I thought he could have gone for more than that, but hey.
I understand it because yes, his defense is elite. His 3-point shooting is so streaky.
It is really streaky, but he's about to go into his third year. I'm sure that'll improve, especially with the shooting coaches they have.
That's true. That's true. I believe in their shooting coach. So yeah, good value for the Pelicans, and he got a bag as a second rounder. He got a bag. One of them that I think was overpaid was Rui Hachimura to the Lakers. 3 years, 51 mil.
Yeah, that's not a good deal. Good for you, Rui. That's not a good deal.
Though. You talking about overpay?
That's not a good deal.
I can see why they did it. That means they losing Austin Reeves. I can see Austin Reeves going.
Yeah, I can see why they did it too, but like those playoffs helped them. But
17 million a year? That's a lot.
That's steep, bro.
That's a steep number for a person who's going to come off your bench. 17 million.
That's a steep.
Cam Reddish goes to the Lakers on a 2-year deal. I like Cam Reddish to the Lakers.
Me too. I think that's really good. I'm just interested to see what the figure is.
Right. And then Seth Curry to the Mavericks 2 years. I like it. More perimeter shooting.
Once again, I'm interested in the value, and it doesn't hurt to have a shooter off the bench.
Exactly. Dennis Schroeder to the Raptors 2 years, 26. When Fred VanVleet signed his contract, I see why. Just to replace Fred VanVleet. He's here to relieve that point guard duty.
So definitely. Now, I think that is a lot. I'd rather go like 3 years, 30 for him, because I think 13 a year is a bit much, but it's only a 2-year deal, so.
They just use their MLE. They just use their MLE, so I understand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And the biggest one of today, I think, was the Fred VanVleet Rockets deal. 3 years, 130. He actually got paid the most out of everybody this free agency day one.
We also have 2 contract extensions to talk about, but let's talk about Freddie first.
Go ahead.
Wow. His agent needs a raise because that's insanity. I was about to say insanity, and I decided
for a man, I'm gonna keep mine short. For a man who is below 6 foot, who shot 39% from the field, and you just drafted Ben Thompson, and you're gonna have him start because you're starting him because you're paying him like that.
Oh. I don't hate that they signed a point guard because I think Ben Thompson's going to need to come off the bench, at least at first.
I don't think you play him off the bench. You don't play him off the bench.
You let him. I don't. Sometimes I'm fine with throwing guys right into the deep end. Like I was fine with that for Jaden Ivey, but I think Ben Thompson is a little bit. His starting point, I don't think is as good as Ivey's. so I don't like it as much. So I'm glad they did sign a point guard, but that is a lot,
I
a
tell you why it's
lot,
a bad contract.
a
The
lot
first
of
year is
money.
40 million. The second year is 44, and the last year is 47. I'm good on it. I'm
I'm
good,
good.
and he's going to start. So I don't know why you just drafted a man. Let a man play that point guard position. Let him start, and you go from there. Um, or you play a man at the three, which I can see, but
Yeah, but no,
um,
I don't like. Hey, at least it means most likely they're not getting Dylan Brooks.
that's a fact. But that was the last signing of the night.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just overpay. Wow. I thought he'd be worth like 3 years 90 to 3 years 95. That's insane.
yeah,
I I read 130. I'm like, okay, I expected to see a 4 to the left of it. It was a 3. I'm like, whoa.
that's 40. And the first year is the thing that's throwing me off. The first year is 40 mil, the second year is 44, and the last year is 47. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But
Hey,
hey,
good for him, bro. That's
good job, agent. Good job, agent. But I think that's it for the pod.
we got two more extends. We got two. Tyrese Halliburton got 2 years 157. Sorry, not two. 5 years 157.
Okay.
Max extension. Good for him. He's awesome.
I think that's an underpay, but I guess.
No, that's the most they can that's literally the most you can go. 5 years,
Oh yeah, because
257.
it's an extension. It's not a signing. You're
It's a
right.
rookie. It's a rookie extension who made an All-Star team or All NBA.
Yeah,
Did he make an All NBA team?
I don't think he did.
It's either All-Star or all. Like you can make
Got
either.
to be an All NBA or All Star. Yeah.
Okay, so then yeah, so that he just got maxed, which good for him. He deserves it. He's awesome.
And I'm guessing the last one is Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain,
5 years,
5 years,
207.
5 years, 207 is. Let me just throw this out there. I'm a huge Desmond Bain fan. What? What?
I understand it because he brings movement shooting, he gives 3-point shooting, solid defense, and he can create a little bit. So I understand it. You keep, I feel like you keep Ja happy with that deal, and and he
I
showed
just question it. Sorry, go ahead.
he showed that
Finish.
he can be the second scoring option on a good playoff team.
Yeah, I think he's a second. My problem really is that with the new CBA, you can only have two max players. Him and Ja, yes, obviously he's a max player. Desmond Bain for your second spot, I think he's awesome. Not worth 40 something mil a year. Obviously, like give it a year, it'll probably look better with the new figures that are signed next year. Cause I don't in my head, like 40 mil is reserved for like superstars.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody's getting 40 mil today, so
yeah, that's a fair point.
I think it's the best value contract right now for how long you're keeping him. For how long you keep him.
I
Because
would say do you mean for him or in general?
in general for today,
Because for me, I think Tyrese Halliburton is probably the best value. Obviously, because he's a max, like the bet, like he just textbook deserved a max extension, a max rookie extension, just textbook.
okay.
Best, actually, best for today.
For the besides Tyrese, you're right. Besides Tyrese, but that Tyrese just slipped my mind. But
I
besides
like
Tyrese,
I like Tingus Pingus's extension, 2 years 60.
So what's your top three real quick?
Oh,
Name-
Taurean Prince went to the Lakers. My bad.
Yeah,
I am gonna say I got Trey Lyles. So I don't want to cheat on small contracts because Trey Lyles is a small contract. I'm gonna say Tyrese Halliburton
Okay, one.
at 2. And now at 1. Well, 1A and 1B between him and Tingus Pingus.
And then what's third?
Hmm. Uh,
Can't think
remind
of.
me of some of the contracts. So
All right, real quick. You had Fred VanVleet 3 years, 130. You had
give me one that I'll actually choose.
I'm just throwing them out there. You had Chris Middleton 3 years, 102. Kyrie.
I think Middleton's probably up there.
Cam
No,
Johnson.
Jakob Pertl.
Jakob Pertl 4 years, 80.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best like textbook value. I'm not going for underpays. If I'm going for like the most team friendly deals, Herb Jones is at the top of that list alone.
Okay. I think mine for today is Cam Johnson 4 years, 108.
I thought that was an overpay, but keep going.
I like the Cam Johnson 108. My next one is Kyle Kuzma contract. Kyle Kuzma was
4 years, 102.
102. And I like the Draymond contract. 4 years,
Okay.
102.
I thought Draymond was decent. I'm just concerned about the last 2 years.
Those are my three favorites today. So
Okay.
yeah, that was the first
day of free agency.
Tyrese Halliburton, we were wrong about. What did you say about Tyrese again?
I thought that was actually decent value because I think he's pretty textbook.
What was Tyrese's contract you said?
5 years, 257, right?
5 years, 260. Yeah.
Same shit.
Yeah. I was making sure.
They round up once it hits like that big of a contract. Oh, we did miss one. Kobe White, 3 years, 40. That's a lot, I think, to someone who still hasn't really proven himself. I like Kobe White, but I'd keep Ayo Dosunmu over him.
Yeah, I would. That's a lot. I think they just think Kobe White is going to be the 2 and Ayo is going to be the 1, which I understand. But at that point, why are you bringing in Javon Carter? So one
exactly.
of them.
And why do you? Yeah.
One of those players.
Anyway. Yeah. Should I wrap this thing up?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Game Time Review podcast. Leave 5 stars if you enjoyed. Leave a like on YouTube. And leave 5 stars on Apple Music. We're able to get that sorted out. Cool. Send me the link when you can, because when I post the links, I just couldn't find it. Follow us on our socials. The links will be in the description. Also, read my writing. The link will be in the description. Once again, this has been another episode of the Game Time Review podcast. I forgot how I always close this out. We will see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Peace.